Those squabbles coming out of the ANC in the Northwest Elective Conference in Rustenburg is what we're focusing on. And this time around, it's the party's former provincial chairperson, Supra Mahumapelo, wanting the conference invalidated. ENC's Pulele Tweety Jones comes to us from the Northwest with the very latest. Pule, we understand that you've got an update on proceedings at Northwest today. What are they?
Yeah, definitely. In fact, we bumped into the Malloy, who's vying for the chairperson position in the province, who will be speaking to us just now in terms of his ambitions and what he thinks about the conference in its new process as it has been convened. I'm joined by Mr. Malloy. Thank you very much for joining us on ENCA. Perhaps let's start about the issue of the adaptation of credentials. Many are saying it was rushed. Many are saying it was not a fair process. What's your take on that?
No, it was not rushed. Normally, credentials take not more than an hour in a conference of this nature, because you will realize that delegates in this conference are not over 700, so you can't take more than an hour. This one took more than 4 hours, so you can't say it was rushed and so on. Members of the ANC were given an opportunity to debate credentials and so on. They were given an opportunity to raise questions. All those questions were answered, and at the end of the day, conference adopted those credentials. So they were not rushed. It took us more than 4 hours.
If you were to be elected chairperson, what will be some of your first aspirations that will be bringing to the province as well?
No, this question we're raising it, I think, for the second time. When we met on Friday, I did indicate that the ANC is a unitary organization. We are not a federal organization. So our programs are not different from the programs that we adopted at the national conference. But when the president closed the conference in 2017, he emphasized the point that there is a need for us to rebuild, renew, and unite the African National Congress. That program is our program. We must focus on that program, because we have acknowledged as the ANC that there are many challenges in the organization. And those challenges in the organization, they are snowballing into the state, both at the local government level and at the provincial level. Now, once we fix our challenges in the ANC, it is going to be very easy to fix those challenges at the provincial government and local government. So that is our priority. But the other thing which we are going to also focus on is discipline within the ANC. Because you will agree with me that almost after each and every elections, the ANC is the only party that is losing voters. Because our voters are losing confidence because of our behavior and the manner in which we do things as the African National Congress. Firstly, in our branches, and secondly, where we are deployed. So we need to instill discipline amongst all members of the ANC, those who are deployed and those who are outside. Now, it means our disciplinary committee will have to sit on a regular basis and ensure that there is discipline. But secondly, the caliber of members that we attract in the ANC leaves much to be desired. It means we have a responsibility to clean up our membership system and ensure that what we have is members who are committed to the ANC, who understand policies of the ANC, who understand principles of the ANC, who know the vision and the mission of the ANC, its objectives, and what is it that we want to achieve, and what are the timelines. I did indicate on Friday that since 1994, we've been emphasizing the issue of policy and so on, and we are lacking on implementation. Now, the team that is going to be elected here must now focus on implementation, because our people are tired. They've been complaining about service delivery and so on. Now, we can't be holding meetings all the time and speak a lot of English whilst we are not implementing on the ground. So we want a team. If we are elected today, day one, we must be on the ground. Everybody must be working. This province must be very busy. If it means we must declare a state of disaster, both in the ANC and in government, we shall do so.
And of course, you speak about improving internal party structures. What have you contributed so far which should have brought progress within the province? I mean, you're also part of the past leadership in the province as well.
No, we did indicate again on Friday that when this IPC was established, one of the first things that we did was to assess the strength of the organization at the branch level, to check whether the organization is alive, to check whether this organization has got programs and so on. What we discovered is that we did not have branches of the ANC in the Northwest, unfortunately. Now we had to start afresh to rebuild branches of the ANC and so on. Up until today, we have not completed that process. As I speak to you now, there are less than 400 branches of the ANC that are in good standing. And to be specific, it's about 316. And we need to have 403 branches of the ANC. So it means the work still goes on. So there's a lot of things that need to be done and so on. It was not an easy task. We contributed, all of us, as members of the IPC, but it was not easy. This task needs each and every member of the ANC to focus on the program of the ANC. But we can't do it alone as the leadership.
And we speak about this IPC, which is seen to be vibrant and has done a sterling job for the province, but also being interdicted by aggrieved ANC members as well. If anyone were to nullify this provincial conference, do you think it will pass its legitimacy of being regarded as a conference which had integrity?
Now, if this conference is interdicted and the judgment is to the positive and so on, we will of course respect that judgment. It means the ANC will do what is expected of it and so on. But from where I'm sitting, I think we have met all the requirements. There is no reason for anybody, for any judge, to say this conference was illegitimate. We have done everything in our power. And you will agree with me because we are here since last week. We have seen what happened here. It was a real festival of ideas where members were engaging each other and so on, and we are now in a process of electing leadership. So this is a legitimate conference of the African National Congress.
Well, thank you very much for joining us on the NTA. That's Nona Malloy, who's vying for the chairperson position in the province, saying that if the court were to be interdicted, they will, of course, respect the court judgment. However, they're of the view that they have passed every aspect that is required to ensure that the conference can proceed. As it is right now, we're still waiting to see what will be unfolding from about 11 to 12 p.m. We do know that the National Executive Committee members will also be addressing the media as the day unfolds.
There's a reporter, Bolela Treaty Jones, who's just had a conversation there with one of the candidates to be vying for the chairperson position in the Northwest.